With the invention, thank Elon Musk for the invention of the electric car, or the rollout of the electric car. So a gentleman came to me at one of the shows and says, "Do you realize what you have?" And I go, "No." He goes, "You do understand that the electric cars are going to take over the marketplace and what that means for you?" And I go, "No." They said, "Well, they have to charge at home because that's where they live overnight. But if they have to drive any distance, they also have to charge at work." The problem with charging at work is they have to put it on the solar on an existing building, which that lends all kinds of issues because probably the roof wasn't engineered for the extra weight. There's all kinds of different angles and it's not facing the right way. And then there's penetration, not to mention the biggest owie is if there's a leak from the solar installation. As my friend who was a construction defect attorney pointed out to me, is the last man on the roof owns it. So if the solar integrator puts solar on the roof and it leaks, it's very hard to prove who caused that leak. So you're going to be responsible for it. Where if you put it on a carport, carports leak because they don't have sides. So unless the rain is vertical, which it never is, you're going to have water under there. So it's not a big issue. So solar carports and charging stations are going to become very big because we're going to need a lot of energy that we don't produce enough to run all those electric cars. I think we're in a pretty good spot, and I think Baja we're one of the few solar carport companies that actually started out in carports. So we're a carport manufacturer, supplier, and installer that has been pulled in to the solar industry as opposed to a racking company or a manufacturer or somebody trying to be a solar carport builder. It's a difference between night and day. If you buy from us, we basically have run into these issues before. The only difference between now and then is we're putting solar on a carport. Well, carports we do in our sleep, and I've personally been doing that for 53 years. So if it's happened once, we pretty much know how to handle it. So that's the big benefit of going with Baja. And then the other big benefit is a lot of different solar carport companies have their own design, and they don't really stray from that design. Where we've branched out within the last 2 or 3 years to where we do pretty much anything you want. We'll do light gauge, high tensile, which is cost effective, which is going to be more important as the tax credit goes away, because our carports are cheaper than everybody else. Then we do also the long span using the 3-plate system as they do in metal buildings. We have that option, and then the structural steel that a lot of our competitors use, which in my personal opinion is going to be harder to sell as the tax credit goes away, because then Uncle Sam's not paying for a portion of it anymore, and it just goes down to cost, what you can afford. And if you can't the government's not subsidizing it, you're going to go with the most cost-effective method, which would be us. We do it with our own crews, so there's no sub. You have to, if there's an issue on the job, there's no sub. You don't get this this problem where, you know, whose fault is it? Is it the subcontractors? Is it the manufacturer? Is it the installer? We're all one. So you only got one finger to point at one guy, and that's me. And we take care of it. I mean, basically, that's the way we do things. If there's an issue, we'll come in and take care of it. That's just the way we operate.